Welcome to Permission to Thrive. I'm your host, Suzi Lula. As a spiritual therapist for over 20 years, I have the honor and privilege of ushering women and mothers just like you on a journey from simply surviving to powerfully thriving. I also have the honor of raising our son, Will, who is now a young adult, with my longtime partner, Jamie, so I'm right there on the journey with you. Consider this your personal sanctuary, your space to meet your heart, embrace your messy, and come home to your most authentic, extraordinary self. My hope is that you leave resourced and inspired because you are here to shine. Welcome to Permission to Thrive. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Permission to Thrive, called Addiction Through the Lens of Spiritual Psychology. So over the past few weeks, we've been talking about addiction, and this week, I want to talk about addiction from the spiritual psychology point of view, from the soul psychology point of view. So what does that mean? So remember, we said that addiction is the act of reaching for something externally to try to soothe or heal an internal hurt. So something internally within us is hurting, and we try to heal it, we try to soothe it by reaching to something externally. And there is a spiritual and a psychological component to addiction, and that's what we're going to be diving into today. So sit back, relax, and simply allow yourself to receive all that I have prepared for you around the world of addiction and healing and soothing your addictions so that you can rise up into that thriving, shining, blossoming, and most of all, free, liberated, and unencumbered life that is calling to you. So the first thing I want to do is to take a moment and get centered. So at the beginning of any class that I teach, any session that I do, I always start with a centering. And so today, whether you're walking, driving a car, on your way to drop your kids off to a camp or school, taking a run, a hike, I want you to just take this moment. If you can close your eyes, maybe place your hand on your heart. If you're driving, running, then you just listen and allow my centering to wash over you. Open your heart, open your mind, open your spirit to allow yourself to get centered, to get focused, to get refocused, and to allow all of your attention, all of your energy to be focused on this healing time. So if it feels right to you, if you're able to close your eyes, if it feels right to you to place your hands on your heart, let's start by becoming aware of your breath. Just feel your breath moving in through your nostrils, down through the back of your throat, into your lungs. Every time you become aware of and envision your breath moving into your body, into your lungs, you are moving away from your external world and you're moving towards your internal world. So let your breath move you from being externally oriented to being internally oriented, which is the whole practice and process of healing addiction, moving from the external to the internal. So as you become aware of your breath, as you become aware of the love that is present in your heart, becoming open-hearted, open-minded, become aware that right where you are in such a safe space, that this space, this atmosphere, this energy, this next time that we are spending together, it's safe, it's full of love, it's full of support, it's full of guidance and wisdom, it's full of all good things for you. So relax and become aware that right where you are surrounded, you are immersed, you are showered, you are being bathed with all good energy that is for you, that is here to assist you to align from the inside out so that you may recognize that you are whole, that you are worthy, that you are abundant, you are prosperous, that you are inspired, you are creative, that you sit right there in the midst of infinite potential. There are infinite possibilities within you. There are infinite possibilities around you. And this is a time for you to do nothing, only receive everything that is here for you. You might feel an intention coming up. What is your intention for listening today? What is your intention for watching today? May you become so inwardly aligned. May you feel healed from the inside out, transformed from the inside out, connected, reconnected to your joy, to your creativity, to your inspiration, your prosperity, your aliveness, your vitality, your light, your radiance, the place inside of you that's here to shine. What is your intention? As your intention comes forward, just gently open your eyes if they were closed, and just say to yourself, my intention while listening to this episode is, so that you set yourself up for full bloom. You set yourself up to leave this time enriched, leave this time healed, leave this time transformed. And so why did I take the time to center us and for you to set an intention today? And what does that have to do with addiction? So centering is so important where addiction is concerned, because addiction is the feeling of feeling disconnected, the feeling of feeling disconnected from our highest sense of self, the feeling of feeling disconnected from our sense of worth, our sense of wholeness. It's a sense of feeling disconnected from the good of the universe, feeling disconnected from a presence that is greater than we are, a presence that is for us. And so addiction is the feeling of feeling disconnected, feeling alone, feeling separate, feeling apart from, feeling less than, feeling not good enough, feeling apart, feeling separate, and then reaching externally for something to try to soothe that feeling. But centering is the process and the practice of turning away from the lower vibration, the lower frequency of what the world, what conditioning, what the family of origin may have taught you, what culture teaches you. It's turning away from the messages of the world, and it's teaching us to focus, to turn towards, focusing ourselves towards the highest part of ourselves, the highest part of this universal energy that is always here for us. You always hear me saying the most important decision you'll ever make in your life is to truly come into a coherence, an understanding, a recognition that this universe is so for you. Everything that's happening in your life is happening for you. This is the great teaching that Albert Einstein left us. And so addiction is the feeling of feeling separate from all the good, feeling separate and apart from everything that is happening for you. And then it's the reaching of something externally to try to give you the feeling of being cared for, the feeling of wholeness, the feeling of worth that we're looking for. It's reaching externally, and what do we know? Nothing external will ever fill an internal void. And so the centering process, the process of taking the time to center ourselves, maybe 10 times in a day, the process and the practice of centering ourselves and setting our intentions is a practice of consistently assisting us to center on what is true for us and about us, and assisting us to lift and elevate our vibration, our frequency into what is true about us, and helping us rise out of the misunderstandings, the misbeliefs, the way that we have been brought up to think less than about ourselves, feel less than about ourselves. It helps us when we center. It helps us when we set intentions to raise our vibration higher into the truth. And it helps the lower frequencies that we think we're not enough, we're separate, we're apart, we're lonely, we're not good enough, we're burdensome, something's wrong with us, something needs to be fixed. It helps us to elevate that into a more holistic presence that is for you. So I center, I set intentions before a conversation with Will, before a conversation with a client, before a conversation with Jamie, in the morning, in midday, in the evening. This is the spiritual aspect of addiction. Addiction can be seen as a spiritual dis-ease. It's dis-ease. It's a lack of ease in our spiritual self. We feel disconnected from our spirit. We feel disconnected from our soul. We feel disconnected from ourself, and then we try to reach for something to get that feeling of connection with the self. We turn to something external. This world will never bring us that which will truly give us that sense of peace and soothing. Nothing of this world will ever fill an inner void. And our culture is void of soul. Our culture is so diminished in its capacity for humanity and soul and spirituality. The culture that we live in has become so disconnected from the soul of us, from the humanity of us. And so we're reaching for something that could never bring us what we're truly hungry and thirsty and starving for, which is to walk through this life with a sense of connection to our spirit, with a sense of connection to our highest self, our greatest potentiality, the place inside of us that is here to shine and thrive, the part of us that is our spirit. Our culture doesn't teach us how to stay connected to our soul throughout our life. Our culture doesn't reinforce the soul. If we lived in a culture, and may we all bring that sense of soul and spirit to our culture, the more that we do this, we will transform culture. But right now, if you look to culture, if you look externally to try to find something that is going to give you a sense of your own light, of your own wholeness and worthiness, you're looking in the wrong place. And so centering, intention setting, assists us to go to the right well, so to speak, the well that can truly give you that sense of light and soulfulness and spirituality that will ease the dis-ease from feeling disconnected from your soul, from your spirit. So the real gift of addiction is that addiction is here to reconnect you with your soul. To the degree that you feel right now disconnected from your light, disconnected from your soul, disconnected from a sense of purpose and aliveness within you, to that degree is to the degree that there is a gift in the addiction. The degree that you feel separate is to the degree that addiction is here to reunite you with who you truly are. The light within you, the light that you were born with, the soul that is here to shine and to radiate and to be contagious and light the way for both yourself and others. Addiction is here to offer you the gift of reconnecting with your intuition and your wisdom and your guidance and the highest part of you, your sense of purpose, why you're here to contribute in your gifts. To the degree that you might right now in your life be reaching externally to something, as we move through this episode and we learn how to reach internally to that which you might now be seeking externally, to that degree, you are going to be reconnected with your light, the light of your being, the soul of your being, the spirit of your being. And an individual who is connected to their light is unstoppable. An individual that is connected to their light. When you are connected to your light, your soul, your spirit, your reason for being here, your gifts, your contributions, when you are connected to all of that, when you are connected to your abundance, your prosperity, your intuition, your creativity, your joy, your infinite potential, your infinite possibilities, your limitless nature, your freedom, your resourcefulness, your unbounded nature, when you are connected to all of that, you are unstoppable. You are a light for all those around you. And that is the journey of addiction. The journey of addiction is the journey from feeling disconnected to feeling so soulfully connected that you are unstoppable, that you have moved from your own sense of darkness into your own knowing of your light. And when you, my friends, can move from your own sense of inner darkness and connect to and plug into your own light that may right now feel somewhat elusive to you, when you learn how to plug into your own light, you are unstoppable. You are connected. And an individual who is connected is here to light the way for all those around you. When you move from your own darkness to your own light, you are then a beacon of light for all those around you. So centering is a remembering. It's a focused attention. It's a focused awareness. It's a spiritual practice to connect us with who we truly are and simultaneously help us disconnect from the lies and the smaller ways that we've been taught and conditioned to see ourselves, the smaller ways that we've been taught to see ourselves as broken or damaged or abandoned or rejected. And so addiction is feeling that pain of feeling rejected, feeling abandoned, feeling like we are a burden, that we don't matter to someone, that something's wrong with us, and then thinking that something external is going to take that away from us. Addiction is thinking that something is wrong with us and then reaching to the outside to try to make ourselves whole inside. Nothing outside can make you whole inside. Nothing outside can make you even connect to the wholeness inside of you. Addiction is a spiritual identity crisis. I'll say that again. Addiction is a spiritual identity crisis. Addiction is thinking that you are broken, that how you feel is who you are. Addiction is thinking that the lie that you think about yourself is real. And addiction is believing the feelings that you're having. So we are spiritual beings. We are soulful beings. You are a soul that is whole. You are a soul that is whole. But we often think we are less than. You often think that you're not a spiritual being. You often think that you're not whole. You often think that you are broken. And when you are a whole being that is full of worth and abundance and prosperity and luminosity, but you think that you're broken and damaged and something's wrong with you, that feels painful. So the pain of addiction is the pain of the disconnection between who you really are and what you've been taught to believe about yourself. And then the real suffering is not knowing your way back home to yourself, not knowing how to get back home to your true self. And that is what I am promising. We're going to find our way back on this episode so you can practice it over and over and over again. So when in actuality, there are places within us that do feel orphaned sometimes. There are places within us that do feel mistreated sometimes, that feel misunderstood, abandoned, betrayed, rejected. There are places sometimes that we feel that we're not enough. We feel something's lacking. We feel we're in lack. We feel that we don't matter, or that our life is unimportant, or that we are disconnected from a sense of purpose and awe, that we're disconnected from our joy and our reason for being. We do experience that from time to time. So to the degree that you don't know how to get yourself back home to yourself, to the degree that you don't have a roadmap to get yourself back home to yourself, is to the degree that you are going to reach to something to soothe your pain. Addiction is just an attempt to soothe your own pain. So we have to give ourselves natural medicine, a natural way of bringing ourselves back home to ourselves so that we know how to bring ourselves back home to ourselves. When you know how to bring yourself back home to yourself, you have everything. So everyone is going to feel pain at some time in their life. You're going to feel less than, you're going to feel rejected or betrayed. You're going to move through whatever you move through in your life. Life is going to bring you whatever it brings you in your life. And when you don't know how to bring yourself back to the truth of who you are, you'll reach for something. But to the degree that you know how to bring yourself back home to yourself is to the degree that you are liberated. We think that the part of us that feels broken is who we are. But we must learn to train ourselves that that is a part of ourselves that is hurting. The place inside of you that is hurting is not who you actually are. It's a place inside of you that's hurting. And when we learn how to bring the hurting places the real medicine, then we won't need to reach externally. So these places inside of you that are hurting, these places inside of you that were traumatized, that experienced pain, that were taught that you aren't okay, that something is wrong with you, that you are feeling rejected, that you were victimized, these places inside of you that have not been healed yet, those places inside of you are the unmothered places within you. So think about the different aspects of yourself as some places inside of you have been mothered. They're shining, they're bright, they feel competent, they feel confident, they feel aligned and in alignment and in the flow with who you really are. And that is when you experience flow in life. The hurting places within you that are still hurting from your past are the places inside of you that are unmothered. They did not receive adequate and appropriate and effective mothering when you were younger, and they're still unmothered now. They are seeking inner mothering. So by the time we are adults, even by the time we are 10, 13, 15, 20, my vision for this world is that our 10-year-olds, our 14-year-olds, our 18-year-olds, our 20-year-olds learn how to mother themselves, that we as a society become so skilled, so effective at what true mothering is, that our children learn to internalize this inner mother so that when they move through the challenges in their lives, they have a go-to practice of mothering the hurting places within them. An individual who knows how to mother the hurting places within them is a free individual, is a resilient individual. And what do we want our children to be? We want our children to be resilient. We want our children to know that they can make it through whatever life hands them. And so learning to mother the unmothered places within you, learning the attributes and the qualities of the true mother. So what are the attributes and the qualities of the true mother that has the capacity to mother the unmothered places, the hurting places, the traumatized, unprocessed places within us? What are those qualities? Qualities of the true mother are nurturing, nourishment. A true mother cares for, tends to. A true mother assists another to process, to feel heard, to feel seen, to feel valued and cherished and treasured. A true mother knows how to hold a space, witness, hold a sacred energy. A true mother nourishes and nurtures. A true mother loves all of their babies equally. A true mother loves a skinny baby the same as a plump baby. A true mother loves all babies equally. A true mother loves all of their inner babies equally. And our inner babies meaning the true inner mother within you, loves the places that are shiny, the places that are confident, the places that are competent, the places where you excel with the bringing of your gifts. The true mother loves those places. She sees those places. And the true mother loves equally the messy places within you, the places that feel orphaned, the places that feel ugly, the places right now in your life that you might be hiding in your own closet that you would never post on social media. The place right now that you would never post on social media is the very place that needs your inner mothering the most. Any place within you right now that you are holding secret, that you are keeping in a closet, that you feel ashamed of, that you feel disconnected from, that you are pushing away, suppressing, resisting, that's the place that needs your inner mothering the most. That is the place that is going to reach to something external to try to soothe that inner hurt until and unless you learn to mother these hurting places within you. And so that is why when you have a messy place within you, when you have a place that feels like you don't matter, that you're broken, that you are a burden, that's why you're going to reach to something externally if you don't know how to mother yourself. And we bring that hurt into our outer relationships. We bring that past hurt into our current life. We bring that past unprocessed hurt, and then we try to heal and soothe it through food, through sex, shopping, spending, sugar, alcohol, drugs, cutting, binging on food, binging on videos, binging on TV, binging on sugar, binging on the news, binging on staying busy, or purging food, depriving ourselves, staying busy, staying paralyzed, staying stuck, self-sabotaging, self-shaming. All of these different ways are ways that when we feel hurt and we don't know how to give ourselves the medicine of the mother. So what is the medicine of the mother? The medicine of the mother is the nurturing, is the tending to, is the caring for. You think of Mother Teresa. What is Mother Teresa known for? She went to all of the orphaned places, all of the places that society did not want to embrace. That's a metaphor. What are the places inside of you that you have been taught not to embrace? If there is a place inside of you that you have been taught not to embrace, you're gonna reach for something to try to soothe it. And so what kind of inner mother are you being to yourself right now? Do you love all the places inside of you equally, or do you need to learn to love all the places within you equally? That is the good news about addiction. The good news is that you do have the power and the dominion to learn how to love all of the places inside of you that are hurting. You have that dominion. Do you love, or do you want to love? Does it sound good to you to want to learn how to love all the inner parts of yourself equally? Can you imagine being in a relationship with yourself where that very part of you that you feel ashamed of, that you could go into your own closet and put your arms around the darkest place inside of you? That would be freeing. You would never need to reach for something externally again. And my friends, when you learn how to go into the closet of your own consciousness and wrap your arms, your light, your spirit, your soul, your mothering heart around the places inside of you that so need a mothering heart, when you learn how to do this, what you're going to teach yourself is there's no amount of sugar that will ever give you the same feeling. There's no spending, there's no shopping, there's no sexing, there's no binging, there's no purging, there's no sugar, there's no anything from the outside, there's no drug. There's no drug that is as powerful as your own oxytocin. So when you go to a place inside of your closet, a place that you have closeted off in your consciousness, and you go and you're willing to sit in the dark closet of your consciousness and sit with and embrace the places inside of you that feel that they're not okay, that something's wrong with them, that they're broken, that they're a burden, that they're less than, that they're not enough, that you don't have infinite potential within you. You don't have a sense of purpose. You are a failure. When you are willing to go sit with the places inside of you that may feel shame about how old you are, your marital status, your body, your finance, your bank account, your children's success or lack thereof, when you go into the closet and you embrace these places that don't feel good about yourself, you immediately begin to secrete oxytocin. And when you start secreting oxytocin, you come into an inner alignment. And what I'm here to tell you is that feeling feels better, stronger, healthier than anything you could ever reach for. That is the medicine of the mother. Because a mother to their babies secretes oxytocin. And then the baby, when receiving the love, secretes oxytocin. So when you go to a quote orphaned part of yourself and you love it, you secrete oxytocin. And then the orphaned part of you receives the oxytocin and it comes into an inner coherence and an inner alignment. And you become at one. You move yourself into a flow state. And when you are in a flow state, and when you know how to bring yourself into a flow state, that is akin to bringing yourself home to yourself. When you know how to bring yourself into your own flow state, there's no sugar, there's no external anything that will ever bring you the power and the feeling of inner connection and connection with that is higher and greater than you, your own soul, your own spirit, your own heart, your own destiny, your own dharma, your own flow state. That is the greatest drug there could possibly be. And you have the dominion to learn how to get yourself there. Mothering the hurt places, being willing to go connect with the places that are hurting within you is the first step. It's a great step. So you just ask yourself, what is a secret that you are keeping about yourself? What is something that you would not go write on social media right now? What do you not want somebody to know about yourself? That's the place to start, my friend. That is the very place to start, because that's the place that's gonna wanna reach for something external. But when you go to the place right now that you would not go share on social media, and you go into your own closet, that is the very place that needs your love the most. The most vulnerable place within you is the place that needs your mothering the most. The most fragile places, the places that are hurting the most tender places, the places inside of you that have been hurt the most are the places that need your love the most. It's a direct correlation. So you just call forward any way that you have been really hurt in your life and there was nobody there to help you process that hurt. That is the place inside of you that needs your love the most. The place that you won't show to others is the place that is longing for you to go find it, go to it. Go to that closet, the recesses of your own consciousness, the places that you won't show anyone. Go to that place. Bring that place your love. I promise you, you will start feeling an oxytocin within you like you have never felt before. That is the place that needs your mothering the most. And when you start being willing to connect with it, to adopt the orphaned places within you, you begin to create that inner oxytocin. So learning to mother yourself is the most effective way to heal addiction. Because learning to mother yourself is 100% within your domain, within your dominion. Learning to mother yourself is 100% within your dominion. Because why? An addiction is a compulsive behavior, but mothering yourself is a proactive behavior that you can choose anytime, anywhere, once you learn how. So an addiction is a compulsive behavior, a compulsion to reach to the external to try to soothe. But when you learn how to mother yourself, It's 100% within your dominion. You can practice it anytime, anywhere. You can practice it right now. So let's go through the pain of addiction, and then I'm going to teach you right now how to mother your own inner hurts so that you won't have that compulsion to reach outside of yourself. So the pain of addiction, the reason that addiction is so painful is because the human part of you is in misalignment from the spiritual part of you. What does that mean? The human part of you is in misalignment from the spiritual part of you. What does that mean? We are spiritual beings walking on earth. You are a spiritual being right now walking in this human experience. You are a soul. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And I like to say that you are a spiritual being seeking to have a spiritual experience while on earth. What does that mean? It means that you're a spiritual being. And the spiritual experience that you're wanting to have, you're not wanting to walk through earth not feeling that you're whole. You're a spiritual being and you want to walk through with a spiritual experience of feeling whole and worthy and deserving and abundant and prosperous and creative, inspired, thriving, full of infinite possibilities, infinite potentiality. You're a spiritual being, you're a light, and you want to walk on this earth seeking to be connected to the light that you are and bring the light everywhere that you go. So you're not a spiritual being seeking to walk through this earth in the lowest common denominator of what's happening in this world. No, you're a spiritual being seeking to have a spiritual experience of joy and connection and intimacy while you're on planet Earth. That's a spiritual experience that you're seeking. And addiction is feeling disconnected from that, thinking that you aren't that, and then trying to reach for some medicine, some external thing to bring you that feeling of joy and inspiration and creativity and intimacy and connection and wholeness and worthiness and deserving. It's a spiritual practice. So we're seeking the joy and the inspiration, the thriving, resilience, wholeness, a sense of worth. And when we don't experience who we truly are, that's painful. And so the healing of addiction is both psychological on the human level and spiritual. It's a bringing together, it's a mothering of the hurting places inside that brings us into a spiritual alignment, a flow state of who you really are. It brings you back home to your sense of worth and wholeness and light. It takes you from a misunderstanding about who you are into a truthful understanding of who you are. It's like a sandpaper when you are truly the light, but you think you're the dark. You're truly worthy and whole, but you think that you're less than and not enough and broken. You're connected to something so great that wants good for you, but you think you're disconnected, separate, apart, not worthy. That's painful. It's like having all the oxygen in the world right there, but thinking you can't breathe. It's like living with gravity holding you down right now, but thinking you might float away. It's like having all the money in the world, but feeling like you are lacking, or having all the support of this amazing universe, but thinking you are alone. So being connected to an energy that so loves you, that is so for you, that is so supportive of you, that sends you infinite possibilities always, but feeling like you're disconnected and separate from it, those misbeliefs are painful. So the pain comes in thinking that you are something less than what you truly are. And the healing is to come back into alignment, coming back home to the truth of who you are. And the mothering process is what culture doesn't teach you, but it's the process that brings you back home to yourself. So addiction and you. How are you identifying yourself, or how are you misidentifying yourself? So call that to mind right now. I'm going to go through maybe 20 questions for you right now. You can come back and write down these questions. You can come back and journal on these questions. But right now, they're going to be rapid fire questions. And I want you to allow the first thing that comes into your heart, the first thing that comes into your mind, the first thing that comes into your consciousness to be here as a roadmap for you, as messages for you. So here's your breadcrumbs. Well, how are you identifying yourself? Or how are some of the ways that you are misidentifying yourself? How do you think that you're less than who you truly are? What are you thinking about yourself that is less than who you really are? What is the spiritual identity crisis that you are experiencing? How are you thinking and identifying yourself as less than who you really are as a whole, deserving, worthwhile, abundant, prosperous, spiritual being, full of health and well-being and light and vitality and luminosity? How are you misidentifying yourself? And how are you going through a spiritual identity crisis? What are you believing about yourself that is not true? What are you feeling about yourself that makes you think that it is true? So how are your beliefs and your emotions convincing you about something that's truly a lie? Your thoughts and beliefs, your feelings and emotions, how are they trying to convince you that you are less than who you are? What are you reaching for to try to soothe that part of yourself? What are you reaching for externally that you're trying to soothe your own pain? What internal pain are you trying to soothe through external means? What internal pain are you seeking to soothe through external medications, external behaviors, anything external? What internal hurt is it trying to heal? And what is it that you truly need? What is the real need that's under this? If you could give that need to yourself right now, what would it look like? What would it be like? What would it feel like? What would it sound like? Can you give that to yourself right now? And if you could give it to yourself, how would you change? How would you grow? How would you transform and evolve? How would you shift? If you could give yourself what you really need, how would it help you stop reaching for something external? And what are you believing about the universe that is not true? Do you believe that you're not supported? Do you believe that things are not for you? How could you move into an alignment that you are being supported? Everything is here for you. There is so much good here for you that when you start looking around for it, it will fall into your lap. How are you believing that you are not worthy? How are you believing that you are not supported, or that you don't matter, or that you're not here for a reason? How are you believing that you're disconnected from your gifts? And what are you reaching for to soothe your own pain? And now, what is the truth of you? The truth of you is that you are whole, worthy. You are here to shine, to thrive, to blossom, to bloom. You are here for a reason. You are on purpose. You are important. You matter. You are a light. You are light-filled. You are whole. You are deserving. You are here with gifts to bring to those around you, to leave on this earth. You are here bringing something important. You matter. You're important. You're unique. There's something about you that can't be duplicated. You're here for a reason right now. This is who you really are. What is something that you can see about yourself that is true? What is something that you can see about yourself that is true? Because I promise you, the very place inside of you that's hurting, that's reaching for something external, it is the very place inside of you that's ready to shine, that's ready to transform. You're like a chick in an egg. And the part of you that is reaching for something external, it's the part of you that's trying to break through that egg to see something that you haven't seen before about yourself, to see a world, a universe that you haven't seen before. Are you willing to see that you are the one that has been seeing yourself as less than who you truly are? You are the one that has been misperceiving yourself and then reaching for something that you're thinking could help your sight, help your perception. but it's the inside out job that will do it. So what true part of you is ready? What part of you wants to come out and play? What part of you wants to come out and shine? What part of you wants to come out of that closet? What part of you wants to come out of hiding? What is the place that's ready? What place of you wants to take up space, has a voice, has gifts? What is the place that's ready, that's getting ready? What is right there, right in the midst of that addiction, right in the midst of that behavior? Because it's only a behavior. But the place that's right in the midst of the behavior, it's ready. It wants to be seen. It wants to shine. It wants to thrive. What is the place within you that wants to be seen? What is the place within you that wants to thrive? What is the place within you that's ready to shine? Don't leave this episode without answering that question. That is the antidote to whatever behavior your addiction has. That is the antidote. What is the place inside of you that's ready to shine? Begin to envision that place. Begin to connect with that place. There is a place inside of you. If you are listening to this episode, I promise you right now, there is a place within you that is ready to shine, that wants to shine, that's ready to be seen, that knows that it matters, that wants you to give it space to be fully self-expressed. Maybe it's write poetry. Maybe it's start a coaching career. Maybe it's taking my coaching certification. Maybe it's learning to heal inside. Maybe it's learning to transform yourself so that you can be that light for others. You connecting with it inside of yourself is so much stronger and greater than anything you'll ever reach for externally. What is that thing within you? It's your soul calling you. Right in the midst of that addictive behavior, I promise you, is the very place that's ready to shine. It's right there. Will you be willing to feed it and nurture it? It's like a seed. It's like a plant. Give it water. Give it fertile soil. That place inside of you, when you come home to yourself, when you are willing to see your own gifts, your own light, and connect with your own gifts, your own light, you bring yourself out of your own darkness. That is more powerful. That is greater than anything you'll ever reach for externally. When you learn to step fully into who you truly are. The soothing that you bring to yourself is so much more powerful than cutting your sugar or shopping or spending. The inner soothing, the inner truth is so much more powerful than anything from the outside. When you have inner knowing of who you are indestructible. When your inner knowing is your most powerful inoculation against anything, your own inner knowing, your own willingness to stand in your own light, to shine your own light, to be that beacon, to say, no, it's not that I'm broken. It's not that I'm a burden. It's not that something's wrong with me. It's that I am a light and I am here to shine. And I am going to come home to my own self and I am going to be the bringer of the light to my own places of darkness. And when I am willing to go into my own closet and bring the light to my own places of darkness, I am indestructible. Nothing can touch me. Nothing can touch you. When you know who you are and when you can bring that light to the places who forget who they are, you are more powerful. You are free. You are liberated. You are unencumbered. So what do you need to know right now? What is your soul right now, your heart, your spirit calling out for you to know about it right now? What is calling out for you to know about yourself right now? That would have you put down the video, put down the sugar, put down the shopping. When you know the truth about yourself, you don't need a video. You don't need shopping. You don't need spending. What is it? What is your soul's calling for you to know about yourself, to embody about yourself, to stand in about yourself? That is your takeaway. Answer that question and then feed and nourish that part of yourself like there's no tomorrow. Feed it, nurture it. Say, my intention, my commitment, my dedication is to feed the place inside of me that's calling out to be seen, that's calling out to come out of the closet, that's calling out to heal, that's calling out to transform. You connect with that place and you are free, you are liberated. And there is nothing externally that can touch that inner journey. So call forward what is calling you, and then set your intention that you are dedicated to healing that place, transforming that place, giving to that place, loving that place, connecting to that place, and you are free. And this is what I want for you. I want you to know your own freedom, because the antidote to addiction is freedom. Because addiction is a compulsion. It's feeling that you need to reach to something. Freedom is that you know you have everything. So freedom, liberation, being unencumbered, that is my wish for you. So let's take a deep breath, and I'm just going to take a moment and recap what we've gone through. So addiction is the reaching externally to try to soothe something that's hurting inside. So you want to begin to center yourself, set intentions to connect with the highest part of yourself, and remind yourself over and over and over again. You want to begin to look into the darkness of your own closet and be willing to go into your closet and bring your light to mother the orphaned places within you. And as you mother the orphaned places within you, and you come into a coherent state with that oxytocin, you elevate the places inside of you that think you are less than who you truly are, and you elevate yourself and you come into an alignment with the truth of who you are spiritually. And when you can bring the light to your own place of darkness inside, when you can bring those places home into your own heart, you are free. You are liberated. That is more powerful than anything else that the external world could ever possibly bring you. Practice this week. Come back to this episode. Write down these questions. Journal. Call a friend. I would be so grateful if you would share this episode with a friend. Perhaps you do it together in community with someone. I have so many classes that can take you more deeply into your own healing. Go to my website, SuziLula.com. So many online self-paced courses. But practice this week. Give yourself permission to thrive this week. And I will see you here again next week. So much love to you, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If there was something in this conversation that spoke to you, we'd so appreciate it if you would take the time to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this episode with women and mothers you know, because you are here to thrive. See you next time.